Okay, good morning. Good morning, good morning. Today, let's see here. Everything is working. What are we going to talk about today? We're going to talk about whether being single, married, or some other form of relationship is what is for you. Okay, let's see here. Things not working very well. Let's see here. Alrighty, so living as a foreigner, whether single or married, has its pros and cons, and being single offers independence and flexibility, simpler lifestyle. You don't have to listen to anybody giving you a hard time.
เปลือกส้มที่สปินมันหมดนะครับ
Oh, okay. Thank you. But being single can lead to loneliness and a lack of support. Being married, let me stir this up a little bit. I got a coffee the old-fashioned today. Not very sweet, but that's good. And being married provides a deeper cultural integration. You have emotional support, you have legal benefits, but you have certain expectations placed upon you and potential legal complexities, and the choice is yours, of course. But once you make the choice to be married, I mean, most people get married to stay married. They don't get married to get divorced. And ultimately, whether it's better to live as a single person or a married person in Thailand depends on your own personality, your goals, and how you envision your life in the country here. Single life offers freedom and flexibility, while married life provides, as I said, deeper cultural connections and emotional support. So we're going to explore the pros and cons of living in Thailand as a foreigner, whether you are single or married. So we'll see what kind of experiences and challenges and what kind of lifestyles come with being single, married, or maybe other. I don't know. Some people just have a girlfriend, you know. How many men are married and miserable and just can't afford to get divorced? Yeah, but on the other hand, how many men are married and happy? See, this is what I always hear from, and especially with the MGTOW, because, you know, I'm not somebody who thinks you got to call it, you have to have some acronym for it. That's just not me. I don't think you got to be a MGTOW. What is a MGTOW? Really, I mean, really, what is a MGTOW? It's men going their own way. I understand that. And some people think it's anti-feminist and misogynistic. And I just don't understand it. It's like I go my own way anyway. I don't have to have permission. This is the thing. If you're a man, you don't need permission from the woman to do this. You don't need permission to do that. I mean, really, there is right and there is wrong. There are ways you handle yourself. Random commenter, how you doing? Good morning, Victor. Good morning, everybody. Sawadi Ton Chow. Not that much compared to the miserable ones. I don't know, because all the people that I know that are married, I know one guy that got separated from his wife for a long time, and then I don't even know if they're completely apart now, but he doesn't live with her. Yeah, but you can have whatever standard you want. That's just societal standards. I didn't get married until I was like 32. No, I was 36, I think. something like that, 36 or 37, which is fairly late. And more people get married now when they're 28, 30, 32. You know, I don't understand it. I don't understand the whole MGTOW thing, you know, because to me, it's like a MGTOW is somebody who is, it's somebody who is against being with women. And I don't see why you have to be against women. You can have a girlfriend. You can have girlfriends that you're sleeping with. Or you can have nobody if that's what you want. And I know several people that have nobody, and once in a while they go out and grab a piece of strange. And, you know, I know guys who are married, they've been married for many, many years. There's a lot of them that are in this channel. I've been married for what? 25 years? I don't even know how long it is now. Yeah, about 24 years. Well, you know, to me it's like, listen, you want to be with a woman, she's a good woman. Many good women want to have children. Many good women want to get married. That says you are theirs. Now I know there are relationships when people don't have to get married. Okay, maybe they have kids out of wedlock. I understand, that's fine. But yeah, I just don't understand what the problem is to, you know, and now I see the whole passport bros is becoming big in Thailand. Such rubbish. It's rubbish. If you're a man, you'll do whatever you want. You don't need to be part of a group to say, oh, I'm going to be a passport bro. Oh, I'm going to be MGTOW. I'm going to be this. I'm going to be... You don't need it. Be strong enough to do whatever you want. If you want to be married. Be a family man. There are things that I don't always like about being married. I mean, you know, listen, you see a great looking girl and you're like going, damn, I wonder what that's like. Well, you know, most of the time you can't try it out. You know, you got problems in your marriage, whether it be financial, whether it be, you know, in the relationship, whatever it is. Of course that's not great. You're going to have that if you got relationships with women generally. And that's why they say here, you got one woman, you got one set of problems. You got two women, you got two sets of problems. You got 5 women, you got 5 sets of problems. And it's not, there's not many men out there that can have any kind of relationships other than just, you know, the quick 1 hour, 2 hour, get your nut off and, you know, get your nut and then get them out the door. Most guys don't have 5 women that they have relationships with and they really care for, and they don't have that kind of stuff. Come on. So anyway, you know, whatever. I mean, do what you want, be part of whatever group you want, but there are some positives and negatives to each kind of group. Now, before I get started on this, I want to go over some of the news in Thailand here, because there is a bit of news here, and I think it's important to go over it. Of course, important to go over it. Let me see here. What is this? Because it didn't load for some reason. All right. We don't need to know about this. This is Bali immigration. I don't know why this is here. Let's look at this here. All right. Lots of brawls and fights in Pattaya. Just crazy, man. And some of it is involving these Kuwaitis. So I don't know what the problem is with the Kuwaitis. 5. That's pretty low, actually. I don't know what the problem is with Kuwaitis. Kuwaitis do not strike me as tough guys. Most of the time, the Middle Easterners that I have met are not real aggressive, and they don't want to brawl all the time. And yes, I'm sure there are some that are, tough and strong and can fight, but the majority can't fight. It's just like you see Thais out there, and you think every Thai is a Muay Thai fighter. It's ridiculous. It's not true. So anyway, I guess there was some violent confrontation between an Icelandic guy who's around 50 or 60. You generally shouldn't be fighting, which I understand. He had a bloodied face and a head wound. The other was Nippon, age 52, a police volunteer in Pattaya City Police Station who was semi-conscious with a head injury. Emergency responders provided first aid before transporting them to a nearby hospital. The other party involved was Jamsawai, age 43, a driver for a ride-hailing app known as Bolt, who waited at the scene to give a statement. He explained that the foreign man had requested a ride from Soi Buakaw, accompanied by a Thai woman, to be dropped off at Soi Kaonoi. The foreigner incorrectly pinned the destination on the map, ended at Soi Chalum. The driver explained the mistake, but offered to take them to the correct location as he lived in the same area. However, during the ride, the heavily intoxicated foreigner continuously berated the driver and attempted to slap his head. All right, you get whatever happens to you, you get it. It's because you deserve it. You start slapping somebody, you're drunk off your ass, and you're berating somebody. If he beats your ass, that's what you deserve. The driver stopped and told the woman they should change cars. The foreigner, dissatisfied, slammed the car door open and started yelling. He then grabbed the driver's shirt collar, hitting his neck and breaking his gold necklace. Oh, God. Enraged, the driver punched back, hitting the foreigner's face, leading to a scuffle. The injured police volunteer who tried to intervene was knocked unconscious by the foreigner. Oh, that's too bad. Witnesses corroborated that when the police volunteers tried to stop the fight, the foreigner said, "I want fighting," before knocking him out. Bystanders then helped restrain the foreigner. Police will question all involved parties at Pattaya City Police Station. That kind of stuff doesn't need to happen, but it happens all the time. And let's see here. I think we have, what is this here? Well, this one didn't open, but let's see here. And I don't want to read that. Let's read this one. Notorious Shamtian beach vendor apologizes after aggressive behavior sparks outcry. Now, this is a skinny little guy. He's old. And I'm sure he just is aggressive because he needs money, but that's no excuse. He apologized after his aggressive behavior sparks an outcry. He's 58-year-old Huadon S., also known as Uncle Tom. He's reportedly been forcing tourists to buy his goods, hurling insults, and even throwing objects at those who refused to purchase from him. His behavior has raised alarms about the potential negative impact on Pattaya's tourist image, prompting calls for immediate action. Oh, God. So they questioned him. They found him selling snacks around Soi 16. He was escorted to the police station for questioning, where he fully cooperated. During the interrogation, they told him about the importance of maintaining a positive image for Pattaya's tourism industry, which I'm sure made quite a difference to this guy. They stressed that while making an honest living is commendable, preserving the city's reputation as a welcome destination for tourists is essential. He admitted to drinking a bottle of beer before starting his sales on the day of the incident, explaining that he was trying to relieve stress. Okay. I don't usually drink beer to relieve stress, but okay. That's just me. He expressed regret for his actions, acknowledging that he had lost control of his emotions. He explained that he has no permanent residence and typically buys snacks from convenience stores, reselling them at a slight markup. on Jomtien Beach to make a living. He promised not to engage in such behavior in the future. As part of the resolution, a formal agreement was signed stating that if Uncle Tom repeats this conduct, he will face legal action under the Public Cleanliness and Orderliness Act. So, I mean, I'm looking at this guy, and, you know, he's not exactly threatening. You know, he wouldn't be able, I don't think he would be able to push me into buying something from him. I'd be like, fuck off. You know, if he got nasty. But, you know, it's not good for these people to be doing this kind of thing. I don't care if they're old or young, it's just not good. And so, again, Pattaya needs to get its act together, which I've said many times. They really need to get their act together. Let's see here. What is this here? Is this the one about the... Well, this is the one about the Kuwaitis. This is again in Pattaya. And they discovered 2 firearms in possession by a Thai man who he was angry at the Kuwaiti tourists and was driven by the recent incident regarding an altercation between a large group of Kuwaiti tourists and Thai men last week, and he had no intention of causing any harm, but he just wanted to scare them. So he brought out 2 guns. You wouldn't scare me. You would piss me off, and you would, you know, you would make things more difficult. You don't pull a gun on somebody unless you're going to use it. I mean, really, you don't pull a gun out unless you are dead set on using it. And if he didn't use it, somebody would probably just knock him out. He claimed, okay, said that the authorities were skeptical of his explanation and proceeded to arrest him for further investigation and legal proceedings. And I guess the only thing that I could say is I want to see what happens to this guy. Are they going to give him a 500 baht fine? What's going to happen? This is just stupid, man. I see this kind of stuff and it's stupid. All right, now, one thing, Harley-Davidson is set to move more motorcycle production to Thailand, and the union in the United States, in Wisconsin, is not very happy. Harley-Davidson announced it is moving production of its Revolution Max powered motorcycles to Thailand on what it says is a temporary basis. How are you going to move production over here? And it's temporary. I just don't understand that, and I don't believe it. It previously moved production to for European market and Asian market motorcycles to Thailand in 2019, but continued to make bikes for the U.S. market in America. The International Association of Machinists and Aerospace Workers, which represents Harley factory workers, strongly condemns this move and says it will fight to stop it. If you're wondering about the Indian company that was already manufacturing bikes for sale in Europe in its European plan long before the tariff wars, this doesn't really make sense. They're saying that they want the production for their 2025 models to be done in Thailand, and this was a promise that was made to this organization and that Harley made to them and said, we're going to do everything in the United States, and they said, we're proud to design and develop all iconic motorcycles in the United States. As a global company, Harley-Davidson also maintains an international manufacturing footprint like many of its peers. As part of our overall manufacturing optimization strategy, Harley-Davidson is to temporarily transition the production of its non-core Revolution Max powertrain equipped models to its existing manufacturing facility in Thailand for model year 2025. Now, all I got to say is, I would never buy a new Harley. If I was going to buy any Harley at all, and honestly, I don't really want a Harley. especially the old Harleys. Why buy them now? I don't understand it. And I understand, you know, the old Harleys were much different than the ones now. But the way that their company has gone, it's going in the wrong direction. In 2008, Harley announced plans to close its manufacturing facility that had been located in Kansas City, Missouri. At the time, the IAM decried the move as it saw 572 union members lose their jobs. Well, there you go. I mean, you know, it's like, listen, the way that Harley is now is not the way that it was when it was in its heyday. And that's all I'm going to say about that. All right. I don't want to read this. This is rubbish. What is this here? Now, Thailand, I want to just go over this real quick. Thailand is racing to stop toxic waste shipment from Albania. 100 shipping containers allegedly filled with hazardous industrial waste from Albania are reaching Thailand. They believe it's filled with potentially harmful electric arc furnace dust. And one of the ships, the container, is no longer visible on the maritime location tracking services. It went dark as it neared Cape Town last month. And that was all they heard about it. So Thai officials, after receiving the tip of the containers, have been loaded onto ships in Albania in early July, say they are working with counterparts in Albania and Singapore, where the vessels are due to dock later this month, to stop the shipments. The relevant government agencies weren't notified and haven't given consent for these shipments. Listen, who wants 100 containers of toxic waste coming to their country? Thailand's Department of Industrial Work, which oversees international waste management, said in an email, "We are currently coordinating and monitoring to prevent this illegal traffic." And you know, Thailand and Southeast Asia have been seeing a larger influx of trash from developed countries, from dirty plastic to industrial and electronic waste, which can be laced with toxins. Under the United Nations Basel Convention, a global pact signed on by many developed economies, countries need to give consent for waste headed their way. So apparently none of these containers were declared to have hazardous waste, but they're sending them anyway. They're not supposed to do that. They're supposed to get approval from Thailand first before they are sent here. Due to the speculation about the content of these containers, Maersk will hand the containers over to the shipping line, which has booked and is responsible for the containers in question. Bloomberg News cannot independently verify what the ships are carrying. The companies exporting and receiving these containers haven't been identified. So there you go. All right. So you got this stuff coming to Thailand. Hopefully it won't make it here. I think that's it. Thank you very much, Chris. Thank you. It's common for companies to send their shit to each other and call it environmental measures. If Harley had any brains, they'd make a Honda 350 clone over there, a Royal Enfield. Big-ass bikes are priced like cars, and that market is oversaturated. Yeah, you know, when I lived in the United States, I had a couple of cars, but for the most part, I drove motorcycles everywhere. I had a Yamaha 850, had a Honda 650, had a Honda 500, I had a Kawasaki KZ 400, Kawasaki KZ, I think it was 750. I had a couple of other bikes. So I always had bikes. I was always riding bikes. And now I don't know how the market is now. I don't know what the bikes are like. Now, I haven't ridden bikes in a long time, and I've been thinking about getting a bike here for quite some time. I don't want to get a little 125. I want to get like a 150, 160, or even a 350. And that would be just to get around if we move, if we get a house or something like that. And we've been looking at houses. last couple of days. I mean, every place we go, we look at 3 or 4 different houses. I mean, Sunday was like, was it Sunday? Yeah, Sunday, I think we went to see 8 different houses. I was exhausted, man. I mean, Sunday I streamed, got groceries, went home. The wife's like, I was getting ready to go home. The wife goes, "You want to go with me? I'm going to go look at houses." I went, not really, but I will. She goes, "Okay." So she, you know, we met up, and then we went out, and all day we did that. And then we went and saw Nicholas, which is in Rangsit. That was a long day, man. But the only way that I really would want to get a bike is if I'm out somewhere, and, you know, I don't want to always have to take a Grab or get a motorbike and then go to the boat, and, or, you know, or go to the BTS. Right now, the places where we're looking, the BTS and the MRT, the cars, it's just like Ramkaman. The cars are not available yet. Everything is done. The tracks are done, but the cars are not available. Anyway, let me see. I think I got one more thing here. Sports bikes have come a damn long way since about 2005. In 2007, Yamaha R6 didn't we go 170 miles an hour. Wow. Yeah, I had a Suzuki GS 1100, which at one time was the fastest production motorbike ever. But I had a few accidents on bikes, not on that one. And, you know, they are a bit dangerous, and I do think about that, but anyway. Quality over quantity. Thailand luring foreigners with new visas, but is it too late to the game? Thailand has introduced a range of new visa schemes aimed at making travel to the kingdom for longer periods or for remote work purposes easier. It is part of a worldwide trend of governments targeting higher spend arrivals with a lesser footprint, which is exactly what Thailand is trying to do. They want to get people to come here and spend more money. Now, they got some example, they got some guy, Steve Lim, content creator, has made Thailand his home over the past 2 years. Okay. He never planned to live in Thailand. He was going to live in New York, but en route to the Big Apple on a short stopover in Bangkok, his United States visa fell through, and the New Zealand national had big decisions to make. Thai capital was an entirely foreign place, clouded in cliches and emerging from the tourism-crushing pandemic. But more than 2 years later, Mr. Lim, now a content creator and remote worker in business development for a Chinese firm, says he feels at home here in the hub of creativity in Southeast Asia. Okay. I would just say good for him. That's all I'm going to say. I don't want to say more than that. The Thai government is now intent on luring more digital nomads like him to the country on visas that more easily facilitate longer stays than ever before. The new visa policy will help boost tourism revenue, give a competitive edge in the region, and foster improved international relations. It also diversifies our visitor demographics, encourages longer stays and repeat visits, and potentially attracts business investors. Among the new permits that were announced on July 15th is the Destination Thailand Visa, which allows remote workers, digital nomads, and freelancers a 5-year stay in the country. I don't understand this, with multiple entries allowed for cumulative stays for not exceeding 180 days. Now, let me see something here. I want to see something. How many? What's it called? Digital visa. What the hell's it called? Destination DTV. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I don't see any records here of how many of these DTV visas are being used right now. Ties to the CCP probably didn't help trying to get a visa to U.S. Well, he's from New Zealand, so you can do language courses, medical, Muay Thai. Yeah, but you know, how long are you going to do that for? Are you really going to take Muay Thai for 5 years? I mean, I understand being in Muay Thai for 5 years, but are you going to come here and study Muay Thai for 5 years? Are you going to study cooking for 5 years? Are you going to be engaged in some kind of a medical activity for 5 years? Most of the time, no. A language course, okay. I mean, listen, after 5 years, you should be fluent. Oh, you can't click a little thumbs up on Chris's super chat. I don't know why. Well, they have the specifics, but you know, like always, the specifics depend on whatever immigration officer you have. It's just like the banks. You know, you want to get a bank account. Well, you can get a bank account, but each bank has different requirements. Now, I just heard the guy, you know, what's his name? Integrity Legal, stating something to the effect that most of the banks want you to show a work permit. It has not been my experience over the years that that's what they want. Now, they may have changed it, but even from what I know about people, that's not true. Go and get a paper from the embassy about your address, get it notarized, or whatever it may be, and some bank, they'll sign you up right away. Get your retirement visa, and as soon as you have the stamp, go to a bank in Pattaya. They will allow you to have a bank if you're in Pattaya. Go to a place in Thailand. Some of them will, in Bangkok, some of them will allow you to get a bank. I have let me think here. I have one SCB, one UOB, one Kasikorn Bank, one TTB, one SCB, and 3 Bangkok banks. So I got 8 bank accounts. So there you go. Now let me see here. One specific, not mentioned, is they want to be left. Yeah, they want you to have 500,000 baht in the bank. It's simple. Keep the 500,000 in the bank. That's what they want. And you got to pay 10,000 baht for it. Don't you have to have 800,000 to get a retirement visa? Yes. Guys will be borrowing money to make that bank account and then empty it after they get the DTV visa if they don't button that dodge up quick, right quick. Yeah, but if they don't have the money after 6 months and they got to borrow it again, I mean, what's the point of doing that? You better have the money. I mean, that's not that much money, really. Even 800,000 is not a huge amount. I mean, you know, it's a chunk of change, but it's not anything exorbitant. And this is what I don't understand. It's been 800,000 for years. And you get guys complaining about it. Well, Thailand is my home country now. That's the thing. You know, say what you will. I don't want to go back to the United States. I would go somewhere else. I would go somewhere else and live somewhere else, but probably part-time. I think that the specifics are pretty clear. For this DTV. You got to have 500,000 for 3 months in the bank. Every time you renew or whatever, You need to have proof of salary, a monthly income for the last 6 months, foreign employment contract or employment certificate authenticated by the embassy of the country where the company is located, copy of the company's registration business license authenticated by the embassy of the country where the company is located, professional portfolio showing digital nomad remote work, foreign talent or freelancer status. Okay, so that's, you know, that's something that, those are a few of the things that you need. Now, what I can say is that when I had a media visa, when I had it for about 11, 12 years, I had to show my portfolio. I had to show every magazine that I wrote for and shot photos for. I had to show them, and I did. And it was very easy. I mean, you know, it was, you had to cross your T's and dot your I's. You had to do everything correct. And one time I didn't do them correct, and they only gave me a 3-month visa, and they told me, come back and we'll see about getting you the 1 year. And I was like, oh man. So I came back, and then they got everything the way that it was supposed to be. Let's see here. Not that much into your country. Lots of details not being, the multi-entry part is great. Well, you say the multi-entry part is great, but after 6 months, you got to leave the country. $22,850. It's not a huge amount to be able to migrate to a company if you're of 50 years of age. Now let me see something. I mean, yeah, but you know, I mean, to me, it's not that great of a deal. I mean, for younger guys, okay, I understand that. You know, but I mean, if you're going to spend some serious cash, why not just spend the money? And I mean, I guess you could get an elite visa. You could do a lot of other things. There's a lot of options. It's just a matter of, do you want to spend money? Do you want to put money in the bank? You know. Yeah, but you know what? I'll say this. From 20 to 30 years old, think about it. How many people that are 20 years old actually need to be living in Thailand as a foreigner? Like, you know, I'm an American, I dropped out of college, I'm going to go live in Thailand. Well, generally, you don't have the means to do it, and you don't have the requirements that are going to allow you to stay here for a long period of time. You don't have the training. Well, that's what I mean. I hear all kinds of guys, 20 to 25, maybe even 30, even like 35, and they're like, oh, I'm so sick of it here. I'm so tired of this. And I'm like, tired? You're 22 years old. What are you tired of? I'm tired of the way that it is here. It's so PC, or it's this, or it's that. Oh, Jesus Christ. I mean, but you have options. So at least that is a good thing. Visa holders can leave and re-enter the country to extend their stay by a further 180 days. You can do Muay Thai, cooking classes, sports training, and medical treatments. It's 10,000 baht, and you need to prove the 500,000. In addition, the new student visa, non-immigrant ED Plus, not just the ED, but the ED Plus, will allow those who have graduated from Thai University to extend their stay for an extra year for a variety of purposes, including travel or to search for employment. Okay. Well, that's not going to get you, that's not going to allow you to live in the country. You want to put the money into some kind of a, you know, like a stock market or something like that. You can do that. I don't know what the requirements are, but you can do it. I've done it. However, that's not going to work. If you say, I want to put 800,000 in the bank, you're not going to be able to put it in to the bank. I don't know if you can put it in a CD, but CDs pay shit. you know. I don't see anything about using the CD for your retirement visa. I don't think you can. I think it has to be a regular bank account. Bank again, bank here, interest does not need to be. It can be a U.S. bank account also, or whatever country you come from. If you get a retirement visa, it doesn't have to come from Thailand, or a marriage visa. It can come from the United States. I know that because there was a time a few years ago where I used my U.S. bank account to verify my funds. All right. Now, I think that's pretty important. By the way, excessive heat forecast for this week, even though there's going to be rain all this week. Now, it's supposed to rain all week. Humidity is 82%, temperature's 84 degrees, high of 94, low of 80, and let's see, I don't see the feel like temperature here right now. Sorry. 49 is the air quality index, and the exchange, let me see here. Forgot to look at my phone, 35.16. You know, I don't know what's going on with the exchange rates right now, but hopefully we'll be back up to 36, 37 soon. Anyway, so honestly, I know you live in the bayou, but I'd rather live in Thailand, man. I hate to say it. You know, I know Alabama. I've been through Alabama. You know, I mean, I was young, I was like, wow, Alabama. You know, I went through all the states when I was young. When I was young, my parents took me to a lot of different states. I went all through Pennsylvania and you know, I mean, I've been through Texas and Arizona and, you know, Wisconsin and Michigan and you name it, I've been there. I don't think I've been to all 50 states, but I've been to, like, I don't know, 45 of them or something like that. Anyway, so, you know, you got to think about this new visa system. Okay, so this guy, Stephen Lim, after about 6 or 7 months, he switched to an education visa, meaning he could stay in the country while learning the Thai language remotely through a local education establishment, but he knew it would only be a temporary measure. You know, this is the thing, so I don't know if he was working. The trends in the travel industry are around longer stays and higher spend. While pure visitors to Thailand, as an example, have not rebounded to 2019 pre-COVID highs, data shows that there's been an uptick in those choosing to stay in the country for extended periods. I don't understand why they don't want extended periods or why they had a problem with it. Stays of 22 or more nights have already fully recovered to 2019 levels, yet short-term visits remain down by 19%. Visas are, without a doubt, a tried and tested way to attract tourism to a new destination. And this brings me, I hate to say this, but it brings me back to Thailand saying, oh, you know, we need to do something else besides have tourists. And they're looking into the casinos. They've already got the marijuana. You know, I don't know why they're so, oh, we've got to get 40 million tourists. We've got to get these big spenders in. And like I hate to say this again, if you want to have those kind of people coming to your country, you need to clean up the canals. You need to clean up the place. You need to change your attitude and mentality of some of the people. You need to change that stuff. You can't be going to Pattaya and you got to worry about, am I going to get into a fight with this guy because I thought it was 30 baht and now it's 20 baht and it's 50 baht. You can't have these kind of things happening. You have to have people who understand that there's a certain way to deal with foreigners and to deal with people if you have problems. And it comes down to them speaking better English. And they do speak better English, but I mean, they need to speak better English and stop having such a hard-on for tourists, because there are times, I can tell you, there are times I get into a taxi and immediately you can sense the tension with the driver. And then I'd shut up. I put my headphones on. I don't want to talk to him. Now, if you get in and the guy's like, hey, how are you? Falang, oh, hey, great. No problem. You don't have to talk to him. You can say, hello, how are you? Put your headphones on. Whatever, you can do whatever you want. But I think they need to come up with ways to fix some of these problems. I would get an education visa for language for a year or two if I wanted to stay here for a while. Speaking Thai seems like a good idea if you're going to live here anyways. Yes, definitely. Yeah, maybe a year, and you better learn enough Thai to satisfy inspectors. Well, that's the thing. And getting beat up, or you leaned on his car, that would be a big help. Better English. Let me tell you something. They speak a lot better English than they did 30 years ago. When I first came here, I remember almost nobody spoke English. Even in tourist areas, people spoke really, really broken English. Now it's a lot better. It's not even really Tinglish. It wasn't even Tinglish back then. It was more like Thai, a little bit of Thai and, tiny bit of English. A bit of Thai and a tiny bit of English. Now it's more, I would say it's more Tinglish, or some of them, there are people here, they speak quite good English. My wife works with people, it's an international company that she works for. Everybody she works with speaks English. They speak, I don't want to say fluent, but they speak it well enough to where they can converse with you in English and you understand exactly what they're talking about. It's like you can sit there and carry on a conversation with them. I've done it with people. I was talking about boxing and what it was like, and how the boxers were getting screwed over by the promoters. I've had these kind of conversations with certain people, and they speak very good English. And the people who were involved in boxing, because they're traveling all over the world, they spoke good English. So it's getting better. Yeah, I guess I was, whatever. All right, so let's get back to this. I don't know if this DTV visa is going to make that much of a difference, at least with foreigners, because the Westerners, and I'm talking about like Americans and, the hippie backpacker types, they'll be here for 3 months, 6 months, and then they want to go somewhere else. So maybe they'll just, they'll just use it for one entry and then that's it. I don't know. They'll get mom to put in, the money into the bank. They pay the 10,000 baht, and then they live off of whatever, and they're fine. There's nothing wrong with that, But I don't know. I think Thailand should be grateful for every dime it gets from outside of the country. Put 14K in your bank, based in Thailand, bop around and get 6 months when you get back. Well, yeah, that's fine. All right, do me a favor. smash the like button, hit the like button, subscribe, hit the notification bell. Look down in the description at all the things I have down here. You know, there's super chat, super, what is it? Super thanks. The Cash App. We have my merchandise down below. You can get something off of Amazon. You can use Wise, which I recommend. Wise is quite good. You can become a sponsor on YouTube for as little as $1.99. You can buy me a coffee. You can use Patreon. You can go check out my books at AnAmericanInBangkok.com, or you can just go on social media, or just keep watching, whatever you want to do. It's up to you. Oh my God. Jake Paul's 2028 boxing quest. All right, let me go on here. What is this? If they don't disallow you to give you because you are not currently in the state. I don't know. All right, so being married, being single. There are positives and negatives. When you live as a single person, you know, you don't have anybody to answer to. You have independence, you have flexibility, you have the freedom to explore and travel, and all your decisions are your own. You don't have to think about anybody else. You can be selfish, you can think just about yourself. You don't have to think about your girlfriend or your wife or whatever. You have really no obligations other than to yourself, which when I came here, that's how I was. I had no obligations to anyone in the world. And let me tell you something, that feels pretty darn good. It really feels good. I mean, I came from the U.S., and when I got here, I just thought, I don't have to, if I don't want to wake up, I don't have to wake up. Now, I was staying out until, 4 or 5 in the morning every day. But I could wake up when I wanted. I could go to sleep when I wanted. I could do whatever. I could go somewhere. I could just take off and leave. That's a lot of freedom when you think about it. You might also find it easier to manage your finances and all the legalities, like visa and that kind of thing. You can simplify your life because you don't have other people, Now, Thailand has a very vibrant and busy social scene, especially in Bangkok and Pattaya and the bigger cities, Chiang Mai, Phuket, which, if you want to meet new people, you can meet them. Now, I always say be careful who you meet. Because what I found out is you might meet, let's say you meet 10 people. Out of those 10 people, there's 2 or 3 that you're like, hey man, I really like that guy. That guy's cool. Cool, man. Now, one of them is never around. I met a guy in yoga. The guy's great. Good guy. South Africa. Nice guy. Very busy. Works in a hospital. I only saw him at the gym. I never went anywhere. He's a nice guy. I like to hang out with him. We can shoot the shit, have a coffee, eat something, whatever, Can't do it. So maybe one of those people, 2 of those people aren't available. Now you got 1 or 2 people left. And maybe, you're like, all right, well, yeah, I'll go hang out with this guy. Maybe they are what they say they are, maybe they aren't. So I think it's very important that you kind of pick and choose who you hang out with. And I think if Jim was in the stream, he would tell you this, because I told him that at the beginning when he was telling me about how, I got all these foreigners in the neighborhood, everybody's cool, everybody's nice, and now he's like, well, I'm whittling through them to see who are the people that I really like and who I can hang out with, because a lot of them are people that, there's people that you meet and you just go, I wouldn't hang out with this guy. I would never hang out with this guy in my own country. There's also less cultural pressure. You don't have to conform to, say, traditional Thai family roles or responsibilities. You don't have, even if your parents are okay with you being single, if they're still alive, and you're like, hey, listen, this is what I want, then you have no pressure at all from anybody, which is great. And you can just immerse yourself in the culture as much as you want at your own pace. Now, the cons are loneliness, which, as you know, the video I did, the stream I did, I don't know how long ago it's been, maybe a week or two ago, about loneliness. Actually, he's doing pretty well. And I think it's because loneliness is something that a lot of people, they suffer loneliness. They are lonely. They have nothing to do. They're figuring out, what can I do? Oh, I'll go to work. If you go to work, generally you have a few friends. You have a few associates. Maybe you hang out with them. You know, maybe you got to go to functions or whatever. But if you don't go to work, if you're working on your own at home, or you just are completely retired, you don't have a network. So you might be lonely. So without a partner, you get to experience loneliness, especially during holidays or cultural festivities where a lot of families might gather. You know, like Christmas, the Rocket Festival, Songkran, all these kind of, you know, Songkran, I mean, like even me, I don't want to go out and play in the water all the time. If I did, I would. You know, if I did feel like going out there, I'd just go. It's not a problem. I get wet. I don't care, right? But I think the last time that I did that was out in the south of Thailand. I was with my kids. I was with my wife. We're down in the south, and her cousins are there, and all these people. And so we're just throwing water. And I was like, all right, this is fun. But like last year, nothing. Didn't even get wet. Let's see here. In times of need, having a partner can provide emotional, social, and logistical support that might be harder to find as a single person. And I know plenty of single people who are paying too much because they don't have a woman to go and, you know, get something for them, tell them how much to pay for something. They don't have the help that they need from a Thai person. Doesn't even have to be their woman. I mean, listen, in the beginning, first of all, I learned how to speak a little bit of Thai from, you know, Thais on the Game. And sometimes they would take me places and they would go, oh, no, we don't need to get that. That's too expensive. We'll go over to the other place, it's cheaper there. I'd be like, oh, okay. And, you know, they helped a lot in the beginning. So they can have that too if they're single, but, you know, I think it's a little harder to find. And in some parts of Thai society, being single, especially if you're an old foreigner, might be viewed with curiosity or concern, though this is less of an issue in urban areas. In urban areas like Bangkok, a lot of people don't really care. They don't really care for you. They don't care about you. They're not thinking, oh, the poor foreigner, he needs a girlfriend, let me find him one. They're not thinking that way. Now, if you're out in some village somewhere and you're living alone, which I don't know why you would do that, but okay. You're living alone. Let's say you're living in an apartment somewhere right outside of a village, and people get word that you're the single farang. They might start throwing, you know, their daughters or their sisters at you. And you can choose what you want to do. Now, I know a lot of guys who say, I'm not interested in women. They're not interested in anybody, period. Maybe they're interested in getting a little something once in a while, and that's it. But for whatever reason, they don't want a partner. And I would say, as you get older, if you're alone, I think it becomes harder to find someone that you really want to be with. Because, first of all, you're going to be with people. I mean, I can't remember where I heard it, but I just heard it yesterday. Some guy saying, you know, I'm like 60. I don't really want to be with some, you know, 20-year-old girl. And I was saying that a couple of weeks ago. If you're 60, 70 years old, what do you have in common with a 20-year-old? Not much. So maybe you want to be with somebody 35, 45. Usually, somebody 35 or 45 has baggage. And by baggage, I mean they have kids, they have an ex-husband, they have something. Let me see here. All right, that's nothing there. What is this here? Did that American in Canome have a partner? No, he didn't. He was old. I mean, you know, I don't know how old he was. I think he was 72 or something like that. I can't really remember, but I think that's what he was. And, you know, if you're 72 years old, you've already been through a relationship. Maybe your wife died. Maybe, you know, your wife cheated on you. Maybe you cheated on her. Maybe you just broke up. Who knows what happened? You're 72. What are you gonna do? You're gonna meet some 50-year-old? Yeah, okay, maybe that'll happen. But I think at that point, the 50-year-olds are set in their life. 60-year-olds are set in their life. They're already doing their own thing. So why would they want to be with you? Oh, because you got such a great life. But maybe you're living in a little house, you know, you're just like, listen, I just need a little place for me. They don't know. Maybe you're sitting on a bundle of money. They don't know that. You know, maybe you'll be with somebody, you know, maybe you'll be somebody 40 years old. You're 72, you'll be with somebody 40. Okay, you're not at the same juncture in your lives, but okay, that's fine. You know, maybe you just figure, well, I'll be with her for another 5 to 20 years. You know, we'll see how it goes. You know, when you get a little older, I think you get a little more lenient about how, you know, you go, all right, well, let's see where this goes. When you're young, you're like, hey, I'm getting married. I think I really want it to work. Okay, now, living as a married person, the pros. Being married to a Thai here, you can get deeper insights into the culture, into the traditions, family life, etc. And you might find it easier to integrate into the society, into local communities. What I would say is, after 30 years, I'm integrated. I will never be Thai. I know that. And I never expected to be Thai. I don't want to be Thai. I'm not Thai. But anybody with an open mind, anybody who's reasonable, any reasonable Thai, if I can sit and have a conversation with them, and I'm not going to start all kinds of problems and talk politics and get crazy, you know, that's not going to happen. But I can carry on a conversation with them. You know, oh, yes, Lat Pral is wonderful. You know, the Malbankabi, look what they've done here. Yes, oh, it's lovely. You know, I can do all that stuff. I don't need my wife. I don't need my wife to help me go get anything. I don't need her to tell me how to get someone. I've already integrated. Now, some of that is because of her. Some of that is because I'm curious, and I want to be able to do it myself, just so I can go, nah, this is how you do it. And like I told a couple of guys, go get your bank accounts, get all set up, and then you're done. All you have to do is just, you know, every month send the money, send the payment in, whatever it might be. You know, pay your phone bill, get in line, get hooked up, do everything that you need to do in the beginning. It might take, you know, 6 months, a year to get all set up and get everything nailed down to where you have everything the way you want it. And then you don't have to worry. It's just like, you know, you live in whatever country you live in. You know, I'm from America, so it's just like I'm living in America, and I can do everything I need to do without any help from anybody. You know, I mean, sometimes my wife is like, oh, I don't know about this. I mean, we come to the mall, I tell my wife where to go. I go, oh, you got to take a right over here and a left. She doesn't know. She doesn't come here that much, right? And there's a lot of things, you know, sometimes we go to Chinatown, I go, no, you want that, that's not here. And she'll go, oh, I know where my stuff is, it's over here. So we're on equal planes. She knows what she knows, I know what I know, and we basically can get along. because we each complement each other, and I don't need her, she doesn't need me. You know. Okay, emotional and social support. Having a partner provides a built-in support system, if she's a good woman, making it easier to navigate challenges like health issues, bureaucracy, or social integration. That's true. You have somebody else, I mean, you know, they can, boom, you're home watching TV with her, you know, laying there on the sofa together, and you forgot, oh, I've got to do this, I've got to do that, oh, how am I going to do this? And she can go, oh, honey, tomorrow we'll go to the place, I'll help you out. Simple. Also, you can have certain legal advantages with a marriage. Straightforward processes for property ownership or long-term visas. It really depends on your circumstances. But legally, you have more options than you do if you're not married. And also, you know, you have family ties. And they can be invaluable. You have other people that you can count on. I mean, you know, every once in a while, like I've said before, every once in a while, we'll get a box full of fruit. They send it on a train. And it gets delivered to us. We get a box full of fruit, you know, every month or two. And it's like we get dragon fruit, durian, you know, we get all this stuff. You know, I don't know who you're talking about. Oh, the guy in the video, the guy, yeah, he's single, man. I know he's single. He doesn't live in that bungalow with somebody else, I guarantee you. It's a small place. I mean, I like it. Would I want to live there for the next 20 years? No, I wouldn't. Because I like to have a little bit of space, you know. And I mean, he has some space on the outside, but it's not really his. So, I mean, good for him. He likes what he has there, and it works for him, and that's what's important. You know, we've been looking for a house for years now. And, you know, I'm like, okay, so how are you going to get to work? Okay, what about Alex? If he's going to live here, or should he just stay here? What are we going to do? You got to think about this kind of stuff logistically. So, but having the family is something, you know, I mean, we don't really need the family. And she helps them however she can. And, you know, that's fine. But listen, when we go down there, they're great. We have a great time. We cook stuff up. I mean, I don't know. I did a video a long time ago about I forget, I don't even remember what it is, but it was some kind of food that it's hard to get. But in the South they have it. And then also I showed, like, on a New Year's Eve, making sticky rice with banana and having just a long piece of bamboo and putting the rice in and then cooking it, and how you do that. And it's like, I didn't know how to do that. My wife didn't know how to do it, but her sister's husband knew how to do it. So, you know, we're all sitting around watching it and checking it out. And it's like, you get done and then you go, okay, that's nice. Now we have this sticky rice. I mean, you know, there's a lot of sticky rice. So, you know, these kind of things are good. All right, cons. Marriage in Thailand often comes with expectations regarding familial obligations, financial support for in-laws, and adherence to local customs, which might be challenging for some foreigners. There is sinsod. And then there is the monthly assistance. Now, sinsod is becoming, I think it's going, in a couple of generations, it might be no more. I don't know. I'm not sure, but I think there is a lot less sinsod than there used to be. So, you know, for some foreigners, they go, oh yeah, that's a good thing. I don't have to pay anything to marry her. But, you know, there are the girls, like the girls, sorry, but the girls working in the bar, they're not going to let you off the hook and go, oh, you don't have to pay sinsod. They're going to be like, Okay, I take 500,000, and you're gonna be like, no, that's like what a college student gets. 500,000 to $1 million, somewhere in that region. That's what a smart college girl will get. You know, average shit. So, you know, they're asking for that because they want a payoff. And you give it to them and you're not guaranteed anything because she's working in a bar. Now, I know some people, they go, oh, I've got girlfriends from Pattaya, and the girls, they're not working in a bar, but they're just like the bar girls. Well, that's Pattaya. Really, that's Pattaya. You go into I went into a Starbucks once. I've never been into Starbucks. And I don't know how much it was. It was 150 baht or whatever. And the girl goes, I gave her 200 baht. And she goes, tip for me? She works at Starbucks and she's asking me for a 50 baht tip. And I'm like, that's kind of crass. You know, I was like, what do I gotta give you? And I was like, I'll give you a tip. I'm thinking I'll give you a tip, you know. She gave me back the 50 baht, and you know, I never went back in there again. But that happens every once in a while. And if they're in a bar, forget about it. They always want the tip. They want money. You know, and I don't care if they're working in the cosmetics department or selling clothes or whatever it is. If you're in Pattaya, a lot of them see you as you are the golden ticket. You're the way up. They're going to do the George Jefferson, because you're going to help them move it on up. You know, that's just how things go. Let's see, now, the legal and financial ramifications and complexities. Divorce, inheritance, joint assets. They are much more complicated when you are married to Thais, especially if you don't fully understand the local laws. You know, if you divorce from a Thai, most Thai women, they want some money. Now, if you don't want to give them the money, that's on you. Most of them are not going to go to court and try to get money from you. Some might. I don't know how successful they would be. I guess it depends, but a lot of them they expect you, okay, I want 300,000. We've been married for 6 years. I want 300,000 because that'll help me out for the next year. You know, they think, okay, well, that's how it goes. And that's just how it is. Never get married, never transfer assets. I love how you're so definitive. Never get married. Oh, it's such a bad thing all the time. This is what gets me about guys. Never say never, buddy. Never say never. Thank you very much there, Aiden. I appreciate it. And you know what? You see, you can give him a thumbs up. I appreciate that. Give them cash if you have to. Yeah, but you're saying never get married. That's just rubbish, man. Really. A good chick wants to get married. She wants to have kids. If she doesn't want to have kids, maybe she won't want to get married. I understand that. That happens sometimes. And you can look for that. You can hunt. You can peck away and, you know, try to find somebody that doesn't want, to have kids. And that doesn't care about being married. You know, some people don't. Some people don't care. But I would say, never get married, to me, that's just ridiculous. Have a legal document and keep assets in the United States. Oh, Jesus Christ. Listen, here's the bottom line. Be smart about your money. That's what you do. I told Alex and Nicholas, I said, here's what you do, guys. If you're going to meet a girl, you have one bank account where you keep all your money, and you don't tell them about it. And you have another bank account that you say you put 200,000 baht in, and you say, these are my living expenses. You got another one, you got 1 million baht. You don't tell them about the one with 1 million baht. You tell them about the one you got 200,000 in. Yes, this is what I live with. And every month I get paid, I put money in. Okay. Now she doesn't even expect that you have another bank. Don't get a bank statement sent to your house. You know, how difficult is it? It's not rocket science. You want to buy stocks and don't have anything sent to your house. Oh, Jesus Christ. If you have a legal document and you keep your assets in America, they're going to go, where's all your money? Oh, it's in America. Oh, well, you ain't getting it, honey. You're not lying. That's not how I look at it. I don't look at it like you're lying. And you could use that money if, like, you know, something happens. Mama's in the, you know, in the hospital and you need to save her. You know, it's going to cost $200,000 to save her life or something. And you're like, well, you know, 200,000, 300,000, whatever it is. And you go, listen, honey, let me see if I can get it. You pull the money from the bank, you get it, you go, I had some extra stashing. So, you know. Oh, God, it's lying. Oh, my God. You just don't need to tell her about it. It's an omission. I mean, you could say you're lying by omission. But, I mean, you know, like, really, if it's your... Here's the thing. If you have this money before you meet her, what does she need to know about it for? Really? Why does she need to know? She doesn't need to know what you had before. You just go, listen, honey, here's what I can do. You know, you don't get a prenup in Thailand. Come on, man. The Thai chicks are going to be like, what the fuck are you doing, man? This is a, what's it called? I forgot what the name of this is. Can't see it. The old, what is it? Oh, coffee the old-fashioned. I know. First of all, if you know anything about Thailand, you know that you're definitely not going to have a prenuptial agreement unless you're filthy rich. If you got a lot of money, okay, maybe. Because you're probably going to be attracting a woman of some substance and, you know, she wants to be taken care of. That might happen. But really, most foreigners are not going to get those kind of women here. They're going to get a middle-class girl. That's it. They're not going to get some girl who's worth, you know, 50 million baht. She's got 100 million baht sitting in the... They're not going to get that kind of a girl. Well, I'm just saying. It's just an example. I mean, you know... We've had 3 people in the family die, and only one of them didn't cost any money, and it didn't really matter. And I mean, she was in a government hospital, and you know. This is funny. This is funny to see everybody going at it about this. Have you ever been married? And how old are you? Yeah, but my money is my money also. I hate to tell you that. My money is my money. My money's my money. My wife's money is her money. If I need some money, I'll say to my wife, I need some money, honey. If she needs money from me, she'd say, can you give me this much money? Yes, no. Simple. But she doesn't go looking at my bank account. She doesn't care. You know, she knows, okay, you can pay for this, you can pay. We have our agreement. We made that in the beginning. You're 70. Okay. Have you ever been married? Never? Okay. I mean, you can even tell her. There's no reason why you can't tell her. You go, listen, honey, I got a bank account. I got, you know, 2 million baht sitting in there. But that's money from before we were married. Now, you got another bank account with 200,000 in it, and if she says, "Oh, I want a divorce," you go, "Listen, I'll give you 200,000 in cash, 300,000 in cash, and that's it. We're divorced, no problems." Okay, you take it from your money, you give it to her. You know. So that's a negative, actually. You know, of course, and that's a negative just about anywhere. Doesn't matter what country you're in. And marriage generally involves compromise, which might limit your freedom to pursue personal interest or travel independently. And ultimately, whether it's better to live as a single person or a married person in Thailand just depends on your personality and your goals and how you envision your life. Single life offers freedom and flexibility, while married life provides deeper cultural connections and emotional support. You have somebody when you go home, if you want to go home and go, I've had a shitty day, you know, give me a Hummer, you can do that. If you want to come home and go, I had a great day, let's go out to dinner, baby, okay, you can do that. Some people, it doesn't matter, you know. Yeah, personally, I don't want a dog anymore. I mean, I like dogs. I've had dogs. Now we have cats. And while I like the cats, you know, they get on my nerves sometimes. I don't understand why. It doesn't matter. All right, let me see something here. It's worse there. Chinese women wouldn't ask you for it. They have self-respect. That's rubbish, man. No, they'll just steal it from you. I got a story about a Chinese woman. All right, let me tell you this story. All right. Now, I was living in Seattle. This is before I went to go work on the boat that I had worked on for quite a you know, I don't think you should lie. Yeah, I just said you could tell her if you want, but she ain't getting that money. That's all. You know, you just go, listen, honey, I got a bank account. You don't have to tell her where it is. You don't have to tell her anything. You can tell her you got the money. You don't have to lie to her. But, you know, if you think an omission is lying, okay, fine, just tell her. What does it matter? It doesn't matter. You know, most of them, they don't think, well, now this is not the same as a Chinese woman. Because I was living in Seattle and I was trying to find something to do. I was living in a place and I was going to work on a fishing boat, and I was waiting. I had some time before I was to go on the boat. You know, I was doing the tests. You know, they give you all these tests and all this other kind of stuff to make sure physically, you know, you're not going to crack and your body can handle it and all this other stuff. So I'm there and I meet this guy. He's married to a Chinese woman. He was quite young. He's, I don't know, 25 or so. He met this beautiful Chinese girl, fell in love with her, married her. He said that's when the problems began. Because their way of thinking is, you got money, it's family money. It's our money. Your money is not your money is our money. And so what happened was he had a business. He was selling T-shirts. He would buy T-shirts in bulk, and he would get them all printed, and then he would have people sell them on the boardwalk in, I think it was New Jersey. And so he was making all this money. And I said, so, you know, what happened? He said, I had over $100,000 sitting in my bank account in China. One day, he comes home. He decides, I need to go to the bank, I want to pull some money out. He goes to the bank, he has almost no money in the bank. Why? Because his wife had went there. His wife had went to the bank and withdrew all the money. She wasn't even on the account. And she withdrew the money. So first of all, he made a mistake by letting her know he had an account. She knew, where it was and all this other stuff. He was stupid like that. But okay, you can understand. You would think, oh, nobody can just get at my bank account. Well, she did. And she took the money, and he said, listen, you took all this money. I've worked for years for this money. This is my money. This is for us. And she said, no, this is my family's money. And so that money was going to Mama and Papa. It was not going to her and to anybody else. She spent it. She spent it on whatever. He divorced her. He divorced her over that. He's like, fuck that, man. You stole my money. She's like, no, I didn't steal it. Family money. And he's like, no, you needed to ask me. Maybe he would have gave her, 20 grand. 40 grand. Okay, whatever. Maybe he would have given her some of it. But not all of it. But she took it. I shit you not. This actually happened. And I think to myself, what the hell is that, man? How can you let somebody do that to you? How can that happen to you? Well, it did. So, if you think Thailand is bad, if you think America is bad, don't do it in Thailand. Don't do it in China. Really, you shouldn't do it in Thailand either. But my wife would never think about going into my personal items and taking a bank book and going to the bank and withdrawing my money from the bank. She would never contemplate doing that. First of all, she knows if she ever did something like that, there'd be hell to pay. It would be a mess. We'll just say that. And not that I wouldn't, if she needed money for something, if it was serious and she really needed, I would give her the money. But you gotta be careful. That's the thing, you gotta be careful. And that's why I'm saying, keep a bank account that they don't know about. If you want to tell them about it, fine, tell them about it, but they're not getting it. You better hide that bank book somewhere where they're never gonna find it. Put it in some book in your office somewhere. You got 50 books, put it in a book somewhere and hide it in a page or something. Whatever. She never needs to know where that comes from, where it is. You don't need that bank statement sent home. It pays to be smart with money. And this is the thing. You guys are, you're talking about the money. What I'll say is, if you have ample funds, if you have a fair amount of funds and you're living within your means, and you have some savings, you have some credit cards available where, they're not all topped up. And generally, people who are married, if they don't have some kind of other problems going on, money's not an issue. I need to go get some food, honey. Okay, you go and get food. My wife she'll go and get food. She uses her own money. When I go out and get food, I use my own money. There's no problems. Now, sometimes she'll go, oh, we got to pay for this. And I know, okay, we're going to pay for this. It's going to cost us. I gotta fork over the dough. You know, whether it be half of it, 30% of it, 70% of it, whatever it might be. You know. So, if the money is an issue from the very beginning, if the woman, listen, if a Thai woman says to you, in Thailand, oh, the man have to take care, lady. Give him the boot right away, man. Say goodbye. See you later, honey. How do you take care of me? Oh, I clean the house, you know, make boom boom, wash your clothes. I don't need you for that. I don't need you for any of that. I mean, really. You don't need her for that. What you need is somebody that is there in a pinch for you, and vice versa. You're there for them. They're there for you. You know, you don't need somebody who, gimme, gimme, gimme. Yeah, come on, man. You know, your stereotypes, your way of thinking, it just doesn't work, man. It really doesn't. Because sometimes I need money in Thailand. I don't need to transfer the money over. I could transfer it over by Wise, whatever. But sometimes I just want to have money in the bank in Thailand. I might have a couple, 200,000-300,000 in the bank because I got bills to pay. I want to pay the bills, man. And, you know, I set it up to where everything's done automatically. I don't have to transfer stuff myself. I don't have to do anything. And then later on, if I need more money here, I transfer the money over. But, you know, the thing with keeping the money in the United States is it's generally more stable. I don't know about right now, though. Yeah, Zelle works instantly. Can you transfer using Zelle? Transfer to somebody internationally? No. Somebody internationally can use it if they have an account in the United States and the person transferring the money has an account in the United States, and then you can withdraw with a debit card, or you can transfer it through Wise. Of course. I mean, you know, I don't understand. So Zelle, I mean, what's the big deal about Zelle? If you're getting paid from somebody, what does it matter how you get paid? I mean, Zelle is great, don't get me wrong. You know, but, you know, you don't have to get paid by Zelle. Somebody can put the money in your bank without using Zelle. Well, if the money is in the United States, yes, it's. I mean, listen. The money that I have, generally, I transfer it over to Thailand. I transfer it to Thailand because I know I have a month of bills to pay. I have 2 months. I want to think about that. I don't want to have to worry about it. And it just, almost everything is paid automatically. I don't have to think about it. I just have to think about, okay, this account, all the money's coming out automatically. For instance, yesterday, yesterday, Apple. I have an Apple payment that comes out. It's only $2.99. That comes out automatically every month. And then I have a thing for my website. Then once a year, I have my website. I have all kinds of things. You're looking dapper. Mr. Tom with his mustache and eyebrows. So we're talking about when you have money,
Yeah.
where do you keep the money? And I said, and if you're getting married, should you tell her about the money that you have, because you don't want to start out with a lie. And I'm like, listen, I told my kids, what you do is you put a bunch of money away, you sock away the bulk of it. You might have it in stock, but you don't have to tell your wife right away. But you have some money and you go, listen, this is money that I'm working. if you want to tell your wife about it, fine, but she should not be able to get her hands into it unless you say to her, I'm going to give you some money. And it comes from there. You don't need to lie about it.
I've never talked to my wife about money.
You see?
Never.
And I almost never talk to her about it. I tell her, oh, I don't really have any money right now. I'm going to have to pay that in another day or two. Or, do you have money for this? Yes, I do. Okay. That's about all we ever do.
When I was working and had a business and I paid, and I received, I don't know, $20,000, I gave her most of it, and I kept a little bit for myself. We never talk about it. It's either I give it to you or there's nothing, no talk. No talk.
But she is not pressuring you. Give me money, give me money, give me money.
She's never asked me about money.
Yeah,
Never.
exactly.
In our 17 years together, she's never asked me about money.
My wife, what she does do, she does do this. She'll go, did you give money to Nicholas for school? Honey, I gave it to him for 2 weeks.
You've got kids, and that makes sense.
I gave it to him for a month. Did you pay for his apartment? Yes, it's paid. And, she just wants to double check. So, that's how it goes. But like I said, Vandy, you're saying Zelle works instantly. I do like Zelle. But that's if you need to get money transferred from somebody in America to you in America. So then if you're in another country, you can use a debit card or you can use Wise or whatever.
Zelle is a Wise competitor?
No, they're not competitors. Zelle only works in the United States. There is no fee.
Got it.
Somebody has a bank in the United States. It could be Bank of America. They have a Zelle account at Bank of America. They say, Scott, I'm going to send you $500. Okay, I don't want to send it to PayPal because there's fees. Okay, they send you, you have a Zelle at your bank account. They send you the money. You have it instantly, and you don't pay a fee. Understand? So, now whether or not you want to let your wife know about it, that's up to you. With me, I know what I pay for. I pay for the household expenses. She pays for insurance and some other, she pays for food. Sometimes I pay for food. So that's how it goes.
Now my retirement checks from Social Security and government retirement go into my Wise account. My Wise account, I took the extra step associated with the bank account, and it gets
Right.
it gets 5% interest. So
Oh, it's a direct deposit.
it's a direct deposit.
Yeah,
to
so
Wise.
that's what I'm going to have.
Yeah, and it
By the way, I
it
got
runs in-
approved for my Social Security in 1 week.
Yeah, it doesn't take long. It's not.
I was like, wow. Because there's a lot of guys who have told me, oh, it's taken me months. It's taken me months. I'm like, I don't know why it's... Did you apply from Thailand to Thailand? That kind of thing? Yes. That's why. Because they're using Manila.
It goes through Manila.
Everything has to go through Manila, which is an extra step, I guess. I don't know. But yes, Zelle is a network of participating banks. But it's very good. And there's no fees or anything like that, which is great. Wise, there are fees. My Social Security will go into Wise. However, I'm not sure if I want to keep it in Wise or not because of the taxation here. Now, they won't tax you on Social Security in Thailand. They won't tax you. They can't tax you on that or on pensions.
The taxes are only an issue if you exceed the tax threshold.
Do you what?
Exceed the taxing threshold
Yeah, but the threshold's only 150,000 baht.
for the U.S.
Yes, it's 150,000 a year, 5%. 150 to 300,000 is 5%. 300,000 to like 500,000 or something like that is 10%.
IRS?
In Thailand.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So, you want to pay 5%? You want to pay 10%? I don't want to pay shit. I mean, honestly, I don't want to pay anything. You know. What is it? Taxation, what is it? I forget what it, I just saw a hat with it the other day about tax. You know, fuck taxes or something like that. I forget what it was.
No tax on tips.
Oh yeah. Are they do tax on tips now though?
Sure.
Yeah.
Biden hired 80,000.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah. Yeah, that's what you need to do. Hire 80,000 IRS agents,
Tax you on tips.
so that they can make sure that you're paying your fair share on tax. Now you think about how much they're paying those people. So they're going to have to really
Produce.
they're going to have to produce and bring in some big money. So there you go. Now, what the topic of today was single, married, or other while you're living in Thailand. What do you want to be? You know, what do you want to do? What's for you? Is it being married? Is it being single? Is it having a girlfriend? Is it having nobody? What is it? Because in the beginning, I got this thing from the MGTOW guy who's talking about MGTOW, which I'm like, I don't even understand MGTOW. It's about, you know, you don't want to get married or you don't want to do this. I'm not getting involved with women. It's like, yeah, but you want a good woman. She wants involvement. She wants commitment. Most of the time, they want commitment. You're not going to find very many women who just go, I just want you to bang me. You know, hey, honey, I really like you a lot, and we're really great together, so just bang me. And we don't have to have a relationship. I don't see that working. I use a credit card and just pay it off with cash. I don't understand.
If you use a credit card as cash and pay the balance off 100% every month.
Well, I understand that.
It's a no-cost transaction.
I understand that. I mean, you know, I was going to get, listen, you know, there's no, just so you know, Wise used to have a U.S. bank card.
They have a debit card.
No, they don't. Not anymore.
I just got 2 of them.
They don't work anymore. I hate to tell you that.
They changed the gateway.
So it's working now? I just checked a week ago and they said all cards do not work now in the United States. That's what they told me.
I haven't been in the States, but
Let me see something.
I just use my digital. They have a physical card version and they have a digital card version.
I don't know if the digital works, but the bank card, they did away with it. Hang on a second. Wise. Temporarily pausing issuing new cards in the U.S. I already have a card. What's changing me? If you already have it, you can continue to use it before spending with your existing Wise card online, in-store, and cash out from an ATM. Replace your lost. Okay, so I guess you can continue to use it. Well, that sucks, because I was going to change over to the United States instead of Thailand.
Interesting.
And they won't allow me to get it now since April.
Okay.
I quit the IRS, no taxation with representation. I quit the IRS in March, only made $56,000. They call that a deadbeat. What's a deadbeat? I'm not sure what you're saying. Credit card companies hate that. Yeah, when you pay everything off at the end of the month. So I don't care what they say. I understand that.
I have a physical card, but it's actually waiting for me to pick it up at the address in Florida.
Yeah.
Okay. I got a
Maybe
physical
you can still use it since you ordered it before. When did you order it?
Well, hold on. I've had a Wise card for over a year.
Okay.
So wait, time out. Roughly April, May, June, April, maybe, March, April. I received a notice from Wise that said your current card is going to be discontinued.
Right.
You will be able to use it until mid-July.
Right.
In the meantime, we are replacing your card with a new card. They said the reason for the new card.
Oh, I understand.
The reason for the new card is because we are using a new gateway service that makes our debit cards more flexible and available through more vendors. That's what they said.
Well, I can tell you what they told me on the phone.
Yeah.
And they said, we're just pausing it because we need to take care of a few things. And I thought it had to do with the United States government.
Maybe there were hiccups in this change to the new gateway. I haven't heard anything. But the physical card, I've got the details because...
I understand that, but you got it before April of 2024. or that you ordered it before April of 2024, when the deadline was.
And, right, whatever. But the new card, which I don't have physically, but I have all the details, I've used it to buy things online.
I understand that, but it's prior to them
I've never received,
stopping.
I never received a notice about stopping services on a debit card, except for that one change.
Let me see here. Let me see what they have in the thing here. We got all kinds of messages now. Hang on a second.
And I have a digital card.
Well, the digital card's fine. I understand that, but
it's just the same numbers with no physical card.
Let me see here. God damn it. Fucking password doesn't work.
But I did,
I don't remember my password.
But I did get a notice. It said the business debit cards in the States are suspended temporarily.
It's not just the business cards.
Well,
I can tell you that right now. All right, let me read some of these here. I have a Wise debit card and have used it here. They did change how you can put money onto it. Can't load it via my credit card anymore. Yes, but I'm telling you, from April of 2024 to at least to last week ago.
Business cards, temporary.
I understand that, but it's also personal.
Yeah.
You cannot use that. Maybe you can use an old card, okay, but you cannot get a new card because I tried to do it.
Okay.
They wouldn't let me do it. I pay my credit cards in full, and my score is 750. I don't even know what my score is. I have no idea. I have a Thai credit card. I pay it every month, and it's fine. I got no problems with it. You think that the system works in Thailand, you might get a surprise. What system? I don't know what system you're talking about. I don't know what deadbeat you're talking about. I don't understand that. I know a few people in Thailand happily married that have their spouses sign prenups, no issues. Yeah, I don't know anybody who has prenups here in Thailand.
Don't need them.
Have they had to employ said prenup? They may not like it, but they ain't canceling your card. True, I know. Prenups. Everywhere I've been takes personal credit cards. Prenups. I haven't heard of anybody other than people with a lot of money in this country. I mean, I'm not talking about like a couple $100,000. I'm talking about millions of dollars. Yeah, 100 million, $50 million. Those people, yes, they may be getting, what was the girl's name? What's that chick's name? She was a singer. And she got married to the guy from Fairtex. What the hell was her name?
I remember Tata Young.
Tata Young, that's what her name was. She married a Fairtex guy. Fairtex is worth they're worth hundreds of millions of dollars. She got like $2 million as Sinso. Now, I suspect she also got money when she got divorced in some kind of a prenup. But I can tell you that Tom doesn't have a prenup. I don't have a prenup. Everybody that I know, we're not, I wouldn't call us high-so people. I wouldn't call us low-so, but I wouldn't call us high-so. And none of us, in all my meetings with people in Thailand, never met anybody with a prenup. Now, they may have an agreement. I'm not saying it's wrong. Listen, I've never heard of that. And, you're saying 200,000. 200,000 is fuck all. Seriously, $200,000? That's fuck all. That's not very much money, to be honest. Now, maybe, I'm not saying, that it doesn't happen. Maybe it has. I don't know. But I've never seen it. In 30 fucking years. I've never seen that. Other than people who have a lot of money. And $200,000 is peanuts. Seriously. So, whatever. I mean, whether you get a prenup or not, that's up to you.
I've known rich guys who created company limiteds in Thailand so that the company limited can own the property and to keep any valuable assets they have away from their wife.
Right, right.
I've never heard of a prenup, but I have heard of company
Yes,
limited.
I've heard of that. Yeah. I've heard of companies being formed so that he's the head of the company.
To circumvent the law.
Yes, to circumvent the law. He has everything tied up in that, and that's what all the holdings are from the company. So when the wife wants money from him, she's not getting anything out of it unless he wants to give it to her. So there you go. And again, it depends on how much money you have. If you've got a lot of money, I would say, okay, try it if that's what you want. You're going to have to put it in Thai and in English, which is not a big deal, really. Although if you got a 50-page prenup, it might be a bigger deal. But you're like, I wouldn't get a prenup for $200,000. Are you fucking kidding me?
I would not trust
No.
the Thai legal system.
Well, that's another thing. Yeah, I don't. I mean, but for $200,000, first of all, a bank in Thailand only insures up to, what is it, up to 1 million baht. That's it, 1 million baht.
30,000.
Yeah, about 30,000 bucks. So you put you put all your money in a bank. I mean, you got to spread it out. That's one thing. Now, is she going to go after you? I don't know. Maybe. But like the Thai women and the divorces that I've seen, that doesn't happen. Maybe there's some out there that are just ruthless. That's how women can be. They can be vicious. They can be ruthless. So, if you've got a lot of money and you don't want to, but if I had 200,000, first of all, I wouldn't keep 200,000 in Thailand. That money's in the United States. That money's in stocks. That money's in CDs. That money's in gold, silver. It's in, in my bank account. And then some money would be in Thailand, as much as I'm willing to lose. If I'm willing to lose $50,000, then I'll keep $50,000 in Thailand. But I wouldn't keep it in one bank because it's not insured.
Regarding contracts, do you mind if I share my experience with the labor court?
Well,
and
go
an
ahead.
Employment contract?
You go ahead.
I was employed by a Thai guy. We did some work for an Austrian company. He invoiced the Austrian company and sent the $30,000 US to his Hong Kong bank account. Never paid me. I sued him in the labor court. The labor court ruled 3 points. 1, yes, I was entitled to the wages. 2, yes, he should have paid me the amount that I was disputing. But thirdly, no, he did not have to pay me because he already showed evidence that he paid me. The evidence that he showed that he paid me was a forged signature on the tax documents. When I complained to the labor court about the forged signature, they said, that's not our problem, that's a criminal case. You have to take it up and get the police to charge him and criminally prosecute him. And I said, I won't win, and I just walked away.
Yeah.
So,
There you go.
there will be ways in the Thai courts that they can forge. I said, well, you have to prove it's a forgery, then it's your point.
Yeah.
It's the monkey's on your back to prove it's a forgery.
Yeah, I try not to get involved in situations like you're talking about, because
At that point,
for
I
me
walked
the
away.
situation is, I'm getting my money from America. That money's coming. If it doesn't come, I can look at the transfer. How come it didn't come? And that happened once with Wise. I had money sent over and it didn't show up. I go, what's going on? And so I talked to Wise and they go, oh, send a paper that shows, you've sent it and blah, blah, blah. I said, okay. I sent him the paper the next day. Money's in the bank.
Mistakes happen.
I understand
It's
that.
inconvenient.
So there you go. You want to be married, you want to be single, it's up to you. If you want to be married and you want to get a prenup, that's up to you too. You can do that too. Good for you. If I wanted to have 200,000 in Thailand, I would not get a prenup with my wife. I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't care. I mean, honestly. $200,000 is it's nothing. You know, really, it's small money. Now, if it's 2 million or 20 million, that's a different story. If it was 20 million, I might, I'm going to think about a prenuptial agreement or whatever it is. But I guess if you keep the money in the United States, that you probably wouldn't have to worry about it from them. But you never know nowadays. You never know. So there you go.
Bottom line, if you don't trust them with the money, don't marry them.
Yeah, if you don't trust them, why are you marrying them? And that's what I hear from a bunch of you guys. You know, I mean, I see what you guys are, you know, some of what you guys are saying is completely valid. Chinese women wouldn't ask you for the money. I mean, that's just ridiculous. Like I said, they won't ask you. They won't ask you for it. They'll just take it out if they can. They'll just get it from you however they can.
Which one of the half of 1.2 billion Chinese is
Yeah. Keep the money in the Caymans or the Channel Islands. What's wrong with the United States? You know, and as far as a credit card goes, you know, sometimes, man, I want to have cash in my pocket. You know, I want to have cash in my pocket, or you know what? What I do most of the time now, I keep money in the bank here, and every time I go somewhere, I just show my phone, I scan it, it's done. I don't have to worry about it. And the reason is because I don't have that much money. I don't have enough money that if I lost it, I'd be like devastated. Oh, even with 200,000, you can have a prenup. I understand that. Yeah, well, I mean, like for 200,000, why would you do a prenup? I don't understand that. But okay, 500K, would I have it? Probably not. But I wouldn't be keeping 500,000 in Thailand. I keep it in the United States. And it's not because I'm scared my wife would spend all my money. That has nothing to do with it, because I trust her. It has to do with just being smart and keeping the money in the United States, not here in Thailand. Who's overlooking his point? I'm not overlooking anything. I mean, I understand. If you want to get a prenup, you can get one. But what I'm saying is 200,000, I'm not gonna. 500,000, okay, if I had to have 500K in the bank here, you know what, I probably wouldn't. Honestly, I would have it in the United States. I'd keep the money in the United States, you know, and you just transfer whenever you need it. You can have it, you can bring $1 million baht over here. You know, let's say you put 900,000 in the bank, and that's supposed to last you all year. Okay. So what's the problem with that? She might get at your money. I see. I understand. Yeah, I mean, I don't understand the whole point of it. If you don't have a shitload of money, what is the point of the prenup? Oh, she's gonna get me. My wife ain't gonna get me for nothing. My wife would tell me to piss off before she takes my money. Really. She would tell me, I don't need your money, I make plenty of money. She does, she makes plenty of money. She don't need my money. You know, she's fine. She's good. By Thai standards, she's great. So she doesn't need my money. You know, and I don't need her money. But see, that's not the case with most guys. I hate to say this. Most guys who come here are marrying women. They are marrying women who they are supporting. Or they are getting a stipend to help. Only if you get married in the United States too. You have to get legally married in the US. Not just if you can get married in Thailand, that doesn't mean you're married in the United States. You have to go and register it with the United States government at the consulate, which we are registered.
I never did that.
You didn't? I did. I did it because of the kids. So, you know, my kids have U.S. passport, Thai passport. They are U.S. citizens. They are Thai citizens. You know, she can go over there anytime she wants. So.
My wife is not, and our marriage is not registered. She declared married on her tourist visa application.
Oh.
I filed single, married, with a spouse who does not have a social security number.
Oh,
My
yeah,
wife doesn't have a social security
mine doesn't either.
It's not a big
No, it's not a big deal.
She gets her tourist visa in her tourist passport independently of me.
Yeah, so does mine.
Yeah.
Which is great. My wife doesn't need me to go and get her visa to the United States. She doesn't need. I asked, "You want me to go with you?" And she's like, "You don't have to go with me." And then I found out they're not going to let you in anyway.
Yeah, they changed the rules of that just before my wife got hers.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And she was in the consulate visa section for 20 minutes waiting.
Go to a court clerk in America. You're married. They get a social security number pretty quick.
If you marry in the States, they probably do have a requirement.
Well, we're married in the States now.
If you go through the
Yes.
ceremony, they probably do have some stupid rule they want you to have a social security number. Tell them no.
So you're registered with U.S. Consulate? Yes. We are registered. We are registered as married in the United States, and we are also married in Thailand.
I don't see the benefit of registering in the States.
If you got a social security number, then they might say you got to pay taxes. Like my kids are part American. They are half American.
You've got dependents.
Here's the thing. If they work and earn money here and they go over a certain threshold in Thailand, or they are earning that money in the United States or wherever else outside of Thailand, technically they're supposed to pay tax in the United States.
Sam, they have a tax liability. Whether they have to pay
Yes.
depends on how much money they got.
And it's ridiculous. I don't want to look into this right now, but okay. Oh God, you know, this is the thing. I don't want to take advice or information from people online. And maybe that's hypocritical because I'm giving that information. But I've been living here for a long time, and we've got everything set up perfectly. It's great the way that it works here. I don't need any help with anything. I don't need help doing anything. Well, they're paying taxes in Thailand. They're not going to be double taxed and pay tax in the United States either. You just said you were married in the U.S., so you wouldn't, the divorce rules, Jesus Christ, no, they wouldn't apply. For any assets, cash or property be shared automatically at times of divorce.
In which state?
No, because you're registered in the you registered your marriage in the United States. He's saying, oh, well, they can get money from you for, like alimony or something like that. It's fucking ridiculous, man.
Marriage is a state power responsibility.
This is a federal thing.
I understand, but marriage is state by state. The federal government can honor it, but that doesn't mean you're married in the state.
Yeah. I can just show it. That's the only thing.
I see no benefit to registering our marriage.
Yeah, have you ever been to Thailand, Aiden? Or are you just like talking from anecdotal evidence? I'm curious. Because, like I said, I've been here a long time. And
you're my senior?
I'm his senior. I've been here for 30 freaking years.
Only 22.
And like I said, everything is set up perfectly here. I live like a foreigner. I mean, I live like, a Thai and a foreigner. I live like a foreigner because if I want to eat foreign food, I'll go and eat foreign food. I'll eat whatever I want. If I want to eat Thai food, I'll eat Thai food. I live as both. And yet everything financially and legally is set up already, and I don't even have to worry. I'm good to go, man. In a 3-year relationship with an Isan girl. Okay, so you lived here? Have you seen her? Have you met her? You visited? What's the deal? Explain to me, please.
How much face-to-face time?
How much face-to-face time out of those 3 years? You know, I'm just telling you. I'm not showing any arrogance, man. Fucking, what the fuck are you talking about? She lives with you in Thailand? That's what I'm asking. It's not arrogance. I can tell you that right now. Jesus Christ. Well, whatever. If it's a 3-year relationship, I mean, okay, if he's been here for a while, how long have you been in Thailand? That's what I'm asking you. Have you registered you're married? Are you married or you just live together? He's in Thailand, okay. I understand. That's good. That's how it works. I'm gonna say he's probably an Isan. I want an upper class man from Ceylon. You're a Vandy Dandy? I don't know what this shit means, man.
Nobody's from Ceylon. It's a financial district.
Oh, God.
Singapore Embassy's on Ceylon Road.
Hang on a second. Your state will recognize a foreign marriage. Conversely, your state will recognize a foreign dissolution of marriage as well. Okay. I'm not married in less than 10 years. You've been here less than 10 years. Okay.
10 years is a common threshold for many marriages, even between...
No, he's only in a 3-year relationship.
Yeah.
So it's 3 years. All right, good, you know. That's fine, but I think that there's some things that you might want to look into legally just so that it sets yourself at ease.
That 3-year mark brings to mind...
It's usually 7 years, the 7 years itch.
Well, no, my wife and I, before we were married...
Oh, okay, sorry.
We're together...
Dandy, dandy.
We were together for 4.5 years.
Uh-huh.
During those 4.5 years, we never talked about money. She never asked me for money. I never gave her money. She never asked me. Money was never a topic of conversation. So...
And who paid?
I paid for me, she paid for her. She owned her own condo.
And what happens if you had to take her out for a meal?
I paid.
Okay.
Sometimes she paid.
I got it.
It's one or the
That's
other.
fine.
So my question to the guy for 3 years is, in those 3 years, how many times has she asked for money?
Well, yeah, okay. I guess.
How many times has money been...
He's asking, Aiden, has she asked you for any money or anything like that? I'm going to say probably no.
That would be good.
Maybe he just gives her a little money. Whatever. That's fine.
Giving without asking is not a big deal.
Right. Yes, that's interesting, though. And, you know, I don't mean to come off as arrogant, for sure. But, like I say, I hate to say it, but I'm here, and I've been here a long time. I'm not going anywhere. And I haven't had any issues, really, ever. And, you know, aside from the first couple of years when I was out carousing and getting drunk and, you know, getting in the... Yeah, I created the problems. Other than that, since then, for many years, everything's been smooth, man. You know, it's a piece of cake. And while I don't always love Thailand, you know, I don't always agree with everything, I still like it a lot. That's why I'm here. And I think about other places. I think about what would it be like to live in Ecuador. I wouldn't like it as much as here. What about living in Portugal? I don't know, maybe, but I don't know if I would like it as much as here. So, you know, those are some of the things that I think about. You know.
You changed. Before you went to Ecuador, you had these dreams.
No,
about Ecuador.
not before I went. It was right after I came back.
No. Before you went, you had these dreams that you were thinking about, possible plans. after you went and came back, you
No,
dropped
when
them.
I came back, I said,
You dropped them.
maybe I would like to go there. I would probably go there part-time, but I don't think I would move there completely to open up a Thai restaurant or Thai market or something like that and go, okay, now I'm set. Why?
Market's not big enough.
I got everything here, you know. So again, I'm going to ask, I already asked Aiden. I don't know. Here we go. All good. We have different perspectives on prenup. I sent links on prenup in Thailand since you didn't think it was common. Just have a read when you get some time.
Existence of links doesn't make it common.
I don't know. I don't know what his deal is, man, about the prenups. Did you get a prenup?
Existence
Well,
of,
you're not going to have a prenup because you're not married.
I bet those links are on a lawyer's website trying to sell legal
Maybe.
services.
No, I don't think he's trying to do that.
No, not him. But the lawyer has
Oh,
them
maybe
on
the
lawyer's
lawyer.
website.
Yeah, well, just about every lawyer that's online, that's what they kind of do. Yeah, I don't have that. I haven't got anything. Let's see here. Unless it's junk mail. I don't see anything. Anyway, whatever. Like I said, you want to get a prenup, go ahead and do it. I don't need a prenup.
There's a better solution to that problem.
What's that?
Marry a rich Thai woman so you can take her money.
Well, my wife is well off. I'm not.
You know what I mean.
It doesn't bother me, you know. I
Not
mean,
rich, I think marry a rich Thai woman from a rich Chinese.
yeah. Well, this is the thing. Everybody says that, but it's easier said than done. Oh, just marry a rich Thai girl, okay? Yeah. Oh, yeah. You better be young and handsome, and you better have a good head on your shoulders, and you better know what you want out of your life, out of your family, out of everything. You better know what you really are getting yourself into. If you want some girl who has a bundle of money and who you're just like, you're going, wow, she's got X amount of dollars, she's so well off, and you're like, well, I'm okay, because I don't know, I don't think those relationships generally work. They work for a while you're, she wants you banging her, and then after a while she might get tired of you. The thing is about Thai women is if you get some, what the fuck are you yelling about?
Chinese.
Yeah, gotta be. Unbelievable. Rich Thais don't live in Bangkok? Oh, God. Sure they don't. Sure they don't. There's no rich Thais in Bangkok.
I don't sweat that long. It's like California.
Well, I mean, this is the thing, too. If you're going to go after some chick from a bar, you're not getting the highest rung on the ladder. You're getting the bottom of the barrel. I hate to say that, but that's the truth. You're getting the bottom of the barrel if...
Some people like coffee sludge.
I guess. I don't know. I don't really understand it, but, Some guys, they think, no. I mean, I understand it. They go into the bar, and maybe the girl is very quiet, demure, and she's polite, and she's not the kind who's loud and obnoxious and going getting drunk, and they don't see this. So they go out with her a couple of times. They think she's just a regular girl just from the farm. Oh, she's so sweet.
She only worked there for 2 weeks.
She only worked there for 2 weeks. And then it's like, most of them still have that bar in them. That's been, it's been jammed into them by the mama song.
Knew a Canadian guy a while back. His Thai wife. You know how I learned that she worked in a bar?
No.
We went out one time, shot pool, and she was doing overhead pool cue shots, bouncing the cue ball over others to get them shot.
Oh,
to get
God.
to get the shot.
Anyway, you want to get a prenuptial, go ahead. Go get one. Whatever you feel comfortable doing. Personally, I don't need one. I don't want one. I don't care about one. I've been married a long time.
I don't see the value.
I don't see the value, and whatever money I have, I can keep a certain amount in the United States and keep what I want here in Thailand. And, you know, she still, she still gets what she gets from, you know, working, and I get what I get, and it's still all good. Thank you very much, Aiden. Thank you, I appreciate it. So anyway, I guess that's about it. It's a little bit longer than usual. This,
I interfered.
but
Mr.
no,
Tom
it had nothing to do with you. It's more about you know, married and married and single, and you know what is involved in that, and then when you start talking about getting married, and people are like, oh, you got to get a prenuptial, and you should get one, or some can get one, and some don't need it, and oh, Jesus Christ, it makes it so much more difficult. You know, what about love? What about love? I can tell you this.
What about the dowry to the family?
If my wife met me now, she probably wouldn't want. She met me when I was young, and I was fit, had hair, you know, kind of cute. Oh yeah, you know, at least she said that. She could have been lying. And you know, everything was great. We were young. We were in love. It was, you know, oh baby, I miss you so much. I miss you to the moon. Oh yes, 1,000,000%. You know, now we're like, all right, I've been with you for 25 years. It's like, you know already, I've been with you, I'm still with you. What does that mean? Okay, figure it out. You know, there's the different stages in being married.
And that's true with two people from.
It doesn't matter where you're from.
Wisconsin.
Yeah, I mean, you know, we sit in the morning and have coffee together, and sometimes we chat, sometimes we don't. Sometimes we just sit there and drink our coffee. Sometimes we look at the phone, we look at the computer, we don't look at anything, we rub the cats, whatever it is.
Rarely don't wear anything.
And sometimes we don't talk, sometimes we do, you know? So, anyway, thank you very much. I appreciate it. I appreciate the super chats. Aiden, thank you. Appreciate it. And also to Chris, thank you very much. I really appreciate it. Whole prenup chat started when you said it's okay to hide or lie to your wife on not telling her about other assets. I disagreed, hence said prenup. Well, I don't think you should necessarily lie, like outright lie. Some people would call an omission a lie. And the way I think about it is, listen, if my kids earn, you know, 500,000 baht and they got it in stocks before they meet their wives, and they got some other money sitting there that they pay their bills with, why do they have to tell them about that money? And if they are going to tell them about it, she has absolutely no right to that money. None. I don't care what the courts say.
Unless and until he agrees to it.
If he agrees to it, yes. So, all right. Thank you very much, guys. Appreciate it. And I will talk to you again, I think on Friday. So until then, I'm Scott. I'm an American in Bangkok. Choke Lee Leo Jerken Mai. That's good luck and see you later. Arrivederci, adios, and all that good stuff.